What is up, YouTube family? I know y'all don't know me yet, but I go by Noel Garner, and today's an important day for me because I'm actually getting started on the comic creation process. I'm turning 21 this year. It's been such a great year for me, so I'm really trying to catch this little wave that I'm on. So welcome to video 1 of the Ko Atsu journey, God's new game. You guys are going to figure out what the comic is about as this goes along, so I'm not going to waste too much time with that. But basically, I'm just in the beginning of the creation process. The very first thing that I have set to do is the script. For me, that has to come first because I like writing with intentions. Just a quick backstory. I love One Piece. If you don't know what One Piece is, great comic, Eastern comic from Japan called a manga. I love the fact that there's such a community behind it because there's so many references in the actual writing. There's so many things that the readers have to look up to kind of research on their own. So me personally, I want to be a writer who can do that. I want my writing to show and not necessarily tell, I want to leave little Easter eggs. I love the Call of Duty franchise, the zombies and finding the Easter eggs. I love that stuff. So when I write, I'm basically looking for a chance to allow that, a chance to allow readers to dive into it. The 2-day thing, technically speaking, I don't even think I'm gonna need 2 days, but I've written a script, and the way I did it, this is kind of just my intuition. This isn't researched or anything. I knew that I needed to figure out what's important to set up. If this is the prologue, and I'm in this fantasy genre, Ko Atsu is the running title of my comic, but Ko Atsu is going to be a fantasy-esque comic. It has a lot of elements of magic. It has things that just aren't possible in this world. So I need to immediately set up what is different. With fantasy is since there's going to be gods, alright, the very first thing I know I have to do is introduce the fact that there's these new gods. That's basic. And also I need to explain what type of powers they have. I don't need to be specific. I just need to show that there are powers. Immediately speaking, that helps narrow down what the writing is going to be about. I know a lot of people in the beginning just don't know what to write, and that sort of puts them in a state where they can't function or they give up. But for me, I'm just I just need to narrow it down, so it's just a matter of execution. Once you have a certain checklist of things, as long as whatever you write fits that checklist, it isn't wrong. You're just looking for the best solution. So with those two things, what I was thinking automatically got narrowed down. But I also knew that I wanted it to be show a sense of cruelty because my series is going to be more so for a more mature audience. So I didn't want it to be happy-go-lucky. I want readers from the get-go to know this is some Game of Thrones type stuff. People can die. This isn't a nice world. It's dangerous, even though it's going to be there's going to be fun moments, but take this story serious. So I knew there needed to be some sense of cruelty, and that's important for a reason that I can't disclose at this time. I don't want to give away too much information. You're going to have to read the comic, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, and I also knew that I had to show that the main character would go into this world, so somehow I needed to tie in the main character. So with that being said, I basically envisioned in my head just this scene of oh, there's some guy that's about to be killed by this new god faction. From a matter of there, it's just trying to figure out why that happened. I just started to ask questions why would this person be killed? How is June connected to that? Why is this important to the story? If this is going to be the first thing readers see, it needs to be important. So how can I tie this in? And that's sort of how I got the idea of tying it in to, well, I can't go into that. You just got to wait till chapter 1. But that's my original script. And what I want to do now is I want to watch a couple videos on YouTube figuring out how the professionals do it and just make sure I'm meeting the basics of good writing. So I also need to create the channel, so I wanted to show you guys it being created. You get to witness this moment. And here we go. I'm gonna try to do this one hand. Ko Atsu. It's difficult. Atsu. Nah, I'll just leave it like that. Ko Atsu. Boom, there we go. Ko Atsu. Made at 12:03, 5:18. You all will be the witness. It's time to get busy with it. Let's start the journey, yo. After a good couple of searches on YouTube, I figured out like the best resource, at least that's free, is not actually how to write comics. Like those books are actually not books, but like those videos are really short and normally aren't that professional. But what's really helping me right now is actually screenwriting, which is similar because comics are visual, meaning like you have to write what is going to happen. Like you have to actually write like what the characters are going to look like, the transitions and all that. Like you don't have to put it verbatim per se, but you do need to have a plan of action. On YouTube at least, the best videos have been like screenwriting, and the one that's, I'm not going to say helping a lot because like the first 30 minutes were rough, you know, like he wasn't talking about too much of anything, but like at this 30-minute mark, this video by Aaron Sorkin did lay down, you know, some wisdom, you know, like it helped your boy out. I'm taking notes because your boy's a nerd. Basically what this video is saying is like when you're writing and you know like stuff is just like flowing out, like you know like pretty much the only thing that's holding you back is like your ability to like write it down, you know, formatting, all that stuff. Like but when you have that stream, that means you're writing good, you know what you're doing, things are clear in your head. But if like it's choppy and you don't know what you're doing per se, like that's a good sign that like something's wrong with the planning. So that's a pretty good tip because like for me, I can get in the process of just like repeatedly researching or repeatedly doing things. So like if I get the inspiration to write something, I should just write it. So like that was good because like I remember when I did write the script for the prologue that I showed you guys, I did have that sort of just like constant motion. Another thing he says that like I didn't really think about is that the two things you need in the scene are the intention and the obstacle. I never took in a screenwriting class, so I don't know like the basics of it, but I can see why that's important for every scene. Like knowing why that scene is in the book in the first place and what it is that like, you know, like what's the conflict in the scene. Like, you know, if it's nothing at stake in the scene, it's probably not that interesting. Like, yeah, you need downtime and whatnot, but considering this is the prologue, I think it's very important to have that conflict. And everything's good so far. I thought I was gonna have to do a lot more editing on my script than what I currently am doing, but it's pretty smooth so far. You know, I might actually be good at this or something. But the last thing that was like pretty neat about this 30-minute mark and what he's saying is that basically with this obstacle that's in the scene, however a character tackles that problem, like whatever tactics they use is how he puts it to overcome that problem, is who the character is. And like I definitely gonna have to keep that in mind because like I know that I've read somewhere that the number one mistake writers make is that they make the same characters over and over because they're basically writing from who they are and their characters aren't actually different. Thank you, Mr. Sorkin. Appreciate it, you dropping that knowledge. I'm gonna keep watching the video, but I think this is what I've been looking for, you know, that sort of meat of how to like make sure I can tighten the plot, because like that's really what I'm trying to do right now. Like I know that I have a script, I'm just trying to make sure like it's good writing. I'm trying to make sure that I'm following the basics in terms of like moving the story along and writing with the purpose. Like I'm trying to just educate myself a little bit. So I'm gonna try to find like 2 more videos, really tighten up the plot, and then probably call it a night. And then tomorrow I'm gonna work on setting. And here we are with the full 3 pages worth of script. I had even more help, more videos that I searched. I found another really good one from I found this one. Film Courage is a great page, love it. Follow it if you're not already. But yeah, this video was amazing. Got to soup so many things from there, and reworked the script, and I'm pretty proud of it. But I know I'm super close to it right now though. Like I'm writing from so many places in terms of like there's stories coming from people I know and I'm close with. There's more pieces that are coming from, you know, mythological backgrounds and real world references. Then there's like my own feelings towards it. So like it's so weird to be working with all these different aspects and mixing them up. Ultimately, what makes me happy is because it's like there's so much depth to it for me as the creator that I know that you guys aren't gonna get, but that also scares me because like I want it to still be fun to read for someone who doesn't have that background knowledge, you know. Like I just want that to be an added benefit on top of it if someone dives down into it. So it's concerning, and it's also, you know, kind of scary to be working on this by myself. Like, oh man, it would be so great if I could find like other writers and creators who wanted to tag team their own comics and we just read each other's stuff beforehand to like give each other unbiased reviews of what we actually think, because like it would be cool to bounce these ideas off of someone. But as of tonight, I have a 3-page script. Like I said, I'm gonna sleep on it. When I wake up, I'm gonna work on the setting, thinking about where this is gonna take place. Just like the script, I already have a lot of background work done, but it's just more so revisiting and making it more like fine-tuned for this specific issue, which is the prologue. And I'm going to quit working at 5:12. Yes. A good 5 hours. Put in a good 5 hours on the script, so I'm happy. And when I wake up tomorrow, there will be officially 14 days left. Ko Atsu, God's new game. It's been a work in progress. It's almost time.